Be me. Susan, 47 years old. Worked as a guidance counselor at various middle schools and high schools for the past 20 years. Always considered myself one of the good ones. Dedicated my entire adult life to making schools safer and more equitable. Started in the early 2000s when I genuinely saw problems that needed fixing. Girls being discouraged from STEM, dress codes that were unfair, actual issues that mattered. Spent 2 decades pushing for policy changes, sitting on school boards, training other counselors, created programs, rewrote discipline guidelines, developed new curriculum frameworks. Genuinely believed every single day that I was helping kids. Fast forward to last Tuesday, sitting in my office at Lincoln Middle School. New transfer student walks in with his mother, 8th grader named Thomas. Quiet kid, keeps his eyes down. Won't look at me directly. Mother does all the talking. Clearly frustrated. He's been to 4 schools in 3 years, she says. They keep suspending him, and we keep having to move. I pull up his file while she's talking. Suspended for aggressive play in 5th grade. Suspended for making girls uncomfortable. In 6th grade, he'd asked a girl to a dance. Suspended for disrupting class multiple times. Put on an ADHD medication plan, despite mother's objections. Removed from medication after it made him worse, then suspended again for inability to focus. Teacher notes describe him as typical boy energy that needs correction. I've seen 1,000 files like this. Always thought the teachers and administrators were doing the right thing. Maintaining safe learning environments, protecting the girls, keeping order. But something about this one hits different. Maybe because I'm looking at Thomas in person. This scrawny kid who looks terrified of me. His mother is nearly in tears. He's not a bad kid, she says. He's a boy. He has energy. He wants to run around and play rough with his friends. He doesn't mean any harm. He's never hurt anyone. But they treat him like he's already a criminal. Feel myself getting defensive. Start to say my usual lines about how schools need structure, how we can't let boys dominate spaces, how girls deserve to feel safe. But then I actually look at the kid. Really look at him. He's shrinking into himself, like he's trying to disappear. His mother mentions he started having panic attacks this year. Panic attacks. He's 13. I tell them I'll work with his teachers, make sure he gets a fair shot here. They leave. Sit alone in my office for a while. Can't stop thinking about that look on his face. Like he expects to be punished just for existing. Tell myself I'm being emotional, that I need to trust the systems we built, these systems that I helped create. Go home that night. Can't sleep. Keep seeing Thomas's face. Start thinking about other boys I've seen over the years. Thousands of them. How many files have I reviewed that looked exactly like his? How many times did I nod along when teachers complained about boy behavior? How many discipline policies did I help write that specifically targeted the way boys naturally act? No. Stop it, Susan. We had good reasons. We were protecting girls, creating equity, fixing real problems. Go to work the next day determined to shake it off. Staff meeting about our school's performance metrics. Principal is celebrating our achievement gap narrowing. Girls are outperforming boys in every single subject. Every single one. Reading, math, science, social studies. Boys are 60% of our special education placements. Boys are 80% of our disciplinary actions. Boys are being diagnosed with behavioral disorders at triple the rate of girls. Everyone in the meeting is celebrating. Finally, the girls are getting their chance to shine, someone says. Murmurs of agreement around the table. I've been in hundreds of these meetings. Said similar things myself. But today, something feels wrong. Raise my hand. What are we doing to help the boys? I ask. Room goes quiet. Principal looks at me confused. Susan, boys have had advantages for centuries. We're finally balancing things out. But what about the boys right now? In our classrooms right now? I press. They didn't have advantages for centuries. They're 12 years old. Can feel the tension in the room. Another counselor, Jennifer, jumps in. Boys are resilient, Susan. They'll be fine. We need to focus on elevating the girls who have been held back. Meeting moves on. I sit there feeling like I've been punched in the stomach. After the meeting, I go back to my office and start pulling data. Not just for our school, for the whole district. Boys are falling behind everywhere. Graduation rates, college acceptance, GPA, everything. But it's not just academic. Start looking at suspension rates by gender going back 20 years. In 2003, Boys were suspended at about 1.5 times the rate of girls. Made sense, boys were probably acting out more. But I watched the ratio climb. 2008, 2.5 times. 2013, 3.5 times. 2018, 4 times. Current year, 4.5 times the rate of girls. And the reasons for suspension have changed. Used to be fighting, actual violence, serious disruptions. Now it's things like rough play at recess, loud talking, running in halls, making others uncomfortable with their energy. We criminalized boyhood. No, that can't be right. We were protecting the girls. We were making schools safer. Boys were dominating classroom discussions, taking up too much space. We had to make room for girls' voices. Spend the rest of the week in a fog. Can't stop noticing things I never paid attention to before. Notice that our library removed most of the adventure and war books boys used to read, replaced them with books about feelings and relationships. Notice that recess has so many rules now that the boys basically just stand around. No tag too aggressive, no football too dangerous, no rough play, makes others uncomfortable. Notice that we have a girls in science program, and a girls in math program, and a girls code program. No equivalent programs for boys. Suggested it once years ago, was told boys don't need special programs. Notice that our school counselling office has posters about body positivity, girl power, strong women, nothing for boys. Nothing that says boys are good, boys are needed, boys have value. Friday afternoon, Thomas gets sent to my office. Teacher said he was disrupting class. Brace myself for what that means. Turns out he was doodling in his notebook instead of taking notes during a lecture. That's it. That's the disruption. He's sitting across from me, waiting for punishment. Thomas, I say, can I see what you were drawing? He hesitates, then slides the notebook over. It's actually really good. Detailed sketches of robots and spaceships. Clearly intelligent, creative work. This is impressive, I tell him. He looks suspicious. Like it's a trap. You're not going to suspend me? For doodling? No. My last school did. Feel something crack inside my chest. That was wrong, I hear myself say. They were wrong to do that. He looks at me like I just spoke a foreign language. Send him back to class with a note to his teacher that he's not in trouble. Teacher emails me an hour later, annoyed that I'm not supporting classroom management. Weekend comes. Can't stop thinking. Decide to do something I've never done before. Start reading things from perspectives I've always dismissed. Articles about boys falling behind in school. Statistics about male suicide rates. They've been climbing for 2 decades. Studies about fatherlessness and lack of male role models in schools. Data about boys being medicated at astronomical rates. 75% of ADHD diagnoses are boys. We're medicating normal male energy into submission. Read about how boys are now 40% less likely to go to college than girls. How young men are experiencing record rates of depression, anxiety, purposelessness. How they're told from kindergarten that their natural inclinations are toxic, that their energy is a problem, that their interests are wrong, that they need to be more like girls. Read testimony from young men who say they've never been told they have value, who say they feel unwelcome in schools, in colleges, in social spaces, who say they're afraid to approach women, afraid to take up space, afraid to exist too loudly, who say they were punished throughout childhood for being boys. Sit at my kitchen table Sunday night surrounded by printouts and articles, 20 years of data, a generation of boys. Feel it building in my chest. This horrible realization. Try to push it away. We had good reasons. We were fighting sexism. We were protecting girls. Girls needed help. But did it have to be at the boys' expense? Did we have to tear down boys to lift up girls? When did equity become revenge? Think about every policy I championed. Zero tolerance discipline policies that punished the way boys play. Removing competition from classrooms because it made some girls uncomfortable. Eliminating recess time because boys got too rowdy. Training teachers to see typical boy behavior as concerning. Pushing medication for any boy who couldn't sit still for 6 hours straight. Treating male energy as something to be suppressed rather than channeled. Creating environments where being male was treated as inherently problematic. Oh God, what did we do? Monday morning, sitting in my office before school starts. Thomas's file is still on my desk. Pick it up and really read it this time. Every note from every teacher needs to learn to control himself. Too physical. Dominates playground space. Makes other students uncomfortable. He was 8 years old when this started. 8. He's been getting this message for 5 years. That he's too much. That he's a problem. That he's inherently bad. Multiply him by how many millions of boys? Entire generation of boys getting this message. Every day. For their entire childhoods. I feel myself starting to shake. Principal pops her head in. Susan, you okay? You look pale. How many boys have we suspended this year? I ask. I don't know. Maybe 200? Why? How many girls? Maybe 40? Susan, what's this about? Don't you think that's concerning? She frowns. Boys act out more, you know that? They're more aggressive, more physical. We have to maintain safety. Or maybe we've created an environment where normal boy behavior is treated as deviant. She stares at me. Susan, are you feeling all right? You've been acting strange lately. We're failing the boys, I say. My voice sounds distant to my own ears. We're not failing them. We're holding them accountable. For what? Being boys? Susan, I don't know what's gotten into you, but we have 20 years of research showing that traditional masculine behavior is harmful. Harmful to who? To everyone. To the boys themselves, to girls, to society. What if we're wrong? She looks at me like I just denied gravity. You helped write half our policies, Susan. You trained dozens of counselors. You've been a leader in creating equitable schools. She leaves. Sit there, trembling. She's right. I did help write those policies. I did train other counselors. I spread this approach to dozens of schools. How many boys? How many thousands of boys were hurt by policies I created? Bell rings. School day starts. Go through the motions. Every boy I see in the hallway, I'm looking at differently. That freshman walking, with his head down, earbuds in, avoiding eye contact. Those 2 boys who got separated in the cafeteria for rough housing. They were laughing and pushing each other. Normal friend behavior. The kid sitting alone in the library, who flinches when a teacher walks by. What did we do to them? Afternoon comes. Another staff meeting. Topic is our new initiative to combat toxic masculinity in middle school. They want to implement a program teaching boys about consent, emotional awareness, and healthy masculinity. All good things on the surface. But as I listen to the presentation, I realize what it actually is. It's teaching boys that everything natural to them is toxic, that their rough play is proto-violence, that their competitive nature is harmful, that their protective instincts are possessive, that their desire for adventure is reckless, that they need to fundamentally change who they are. The presentation shows statistics about domestic violence, sexual assault, workplace discrimination, all real problems. But the solution being presented is to reshape boys starting in kindergarten, to treat every boy as a potential predator who needs correction. Jennifer is presenting. She's passionate, believes every word. I used to be her. I was her for 20 years. She shows a slide about how boys need to learn to step back and make space. Another about teaching boys to listen more and talk less. Another about helping boys process their emotions instead of acting out. All presented as self-evidently good. But I'm imagining Thomas. Quiet, anxious, already medicated Thomas. Imagine him being told he needs to step back more, make himself smaller, take up less space, be less. Feel something rising in my throat. Raise my hand. How many boys in this school have told you they feel welcomed here? I ask. Jennifer blinks. We're not trying to make them feel welcomed, we're trying to make them feel accountable. They're children, I say. My voice is shaking. They're children, and we're treating them like they're already oppressors. Susan, boys need to understand their privilege. What privilege? I'm standing now. What privilege does Thomas have? The boy who's been suspended from 4 schools? Who has panic attacks? Who's been medicated since he was 9? Individual cases don't. It's not individual. I'm almost shouting. It's all of them. Look at our data. Boys are failing everywhere, and we're celebrating it. Room has gone completely silent. We're not celebrating it, the principal says carefully. We're correcting historical imbalances. By destroying a generation of boys? The words come out before I can stop them. Everyone's staring at me. Jennifer looks personally betrayed. Susan, I think you need to take a personal day, the principal says. Maybe you're burned out. Leave the meeting. Hands shaking so badly I can barely open my office door. sit down at my desk, put my head in my hands, and suddenly I'm seeing all of it. 20 years of it. Every boy I dismissed. Every concerned parent I talked over. Every policy I championed that punished boyhood. Every time I nodded along when someone said, boys are the problem. Every workshop I led, teaching teachers to see male energy as dangerous. Every discipline guideline I wrote that criminalized play fighting and competition. Every resource I directed toward girls while ignoring struggling boys. Every time I heard that a boy was falling behind and thought, good, girls deserve a turn. See the faces, hundreds of faces, thousands of faces, all those boys over 20 years. The athletes I helped ban from sports for being too aggressive. The class clowns I helped medicate into submission. The rough and tumble kids I helped convince were broken. The quiet boys who got quieter. The energetic boys who learned their energy was shameful. The competitive boys who learned competition was toxic. The protective boys who learned their instincts were possessive. The adventurous boys who learned to sit still and be silent. All of them, an entire generation, taught from age 5 that they were problems to be solved, that their maleness was something to apologize for, that they needed to be fixed. And I helped. I didn't just help. I led. I was so certain, so absolutely certain I was doing good, fighting the patriarchy, protecting girls, creating equity. But we didn't create equity. We just inverted the oppression, and we did it to children, to little boys who never hurt anyone, who just wanted to run and play and build and compete and be themselves. Feel my chest constricting. Can't breathe right. Tears starting. Can't stop them. Think about Thomas again. He's not an exception. He's the rule. Millions of boys just like him, told every day that who they are is wrong. Medicated, punished, suspended, expelled. Falling behind academically because schools are designed for girls now. Sitting still for hours. No recess. No physical outlet. Just sit and listen and comply. And if they can't, drug them. Drug them until they can. Think about the teenage boys. The young men. Reading the statistics again in my head. Male suicide rate up 40% in 20 years. Especially teenage boys and young men. Young men least likely to attend college in recorded history. Young men reporting record loneliness, depression, purposelessness. Young men saying they feel unwanted, unneeded, inherently bad. And why wouldn't they? We spent their entire childhoods telling them exactly that. Every book, every lesson, every assembly. Men are the problem. Masculinity is toxic. Male sexuality is predatory. Male energy is dangerous. Male ambition is oppressive. Just be less. Be smaller. Be quieter. Be more like girls. Or, better yet, don't be at all. Shoulders start shaking, crying harder now. All those boys. All those precious little boys who just needed someone to tell them they were good, that they had value, that their energy was a gift, that their strength could be used for good, that they were needed and wanted and important. Instead, we told them they were the problem. We punished them for existing. We medicated away their boyhood. We created environments where being male was treated as a disability, where masculinity itself was pathologized. And I helped. God, I helped. 20 years. 2 decades of boys. How many? How many boys did I personally hurt? How many policies did I create that hurt thousands more? Think about the training programs I led, training other counselors, other teachers, spreading these ideas to other schools, other districts, multiplying the damage. How many boys across how many schools? Feel myself sliding out of my chair, end up on the floor, full breakdown now, sobbing into my hands, can barely breathe through the crying. We destroyed an entire generation, saying it out loud, to my empty office, to no one. We destroyed them, and we thought we were helping. Think about all the warning signs I ignored. Parents begging us to stop punishing their sons for being boys. Therapists raising concerns about boys' mental health. Teachers from previous generations saying we'd gone too far. Even some of my colleagues expressing quiet doubts. I dismissed all of it, called them sexist, regressive, stuck in the past. I was so sure. We all were. So absolutely certain that we were on the right side, that our cause was just, that some collateral damage was acceptable in service of the greater good. But the collateral damage was children, millions of children, boys who trusted us to help them grow. Instead, we tried to reshape them into something they weren't, tried to suppress everything natural to them, treated their maleness as a disease. Lie on my office floor crying. 20 years of my career. My whole adult life. Dedicated to what I thought was justice. Turns out I was just hurting children. Different children than the ones historically hurt. But still, children. Still innocent. Still deserving of protection and support. How did we convince ourselves this was okay? How did we justify it? Think about all the rhetoric I internalized and spread. Boys have had their turn. It's girls' time now. Boys are resilient. They'll be fine. We're just leveling the playing field. Historical oppression justifies current overcorrection. Can't make an omelette without breaking eggs. Except the eggs were children. Little boys who never oppressed anyone. Who weren't alive during the patriarchy we were fighting. Who just wanted to play and learn and grow. We punished them for crimes they didn't commit. For crimes committed by men who looked like them but weren't them. We held children accountable for history. Door opens. Jennifer walks in. Susan, I'm worried about, oh my God, are you okay? Must look insane. On the floor, crying, makeup running. We hurt them, I managed to say. We hurt all of them. Hurt who? Susan, you're scaring me. The boys, sobbing harder. All the boys, Jennifer. We've been hurting them for 20 years. She kneels down next to me. Susan, no. We've been helping. We've been creating equity. At what cost? I look at her. Jennifer, boys are falling behind everywhere. They're depressed, anxious, suicidal. They're dropping out, giving up, losing hope. And we did that. We created systems that treat them like defective girls instead of healthy boys. That's not we were helping girls. Why did helping girls require hurting boys? She doesn't have an answer. We could have lifted girls up without pushing boys down, I continue. We could have supported both. But we didn't. We chose revenge. We called it justice, but it was revenge. And we enacted it on children. Jennifer stands up. She looks shaken. I need to think, she says. Leaves. I stay on the floor. Spent. Emotionally destroyed. Everything I built my life on revealed as harmful. How do you come back from this? How do you live with this? 20 years of damage. Can't undo it. I can't take back the boys I hurt. Can't unpunish the ones I suspended. Can't unmedicate the ones I helped drug. Can't restore the confidence I helped destroy. Can't give back the childhoods I helped steal. They're grown now, most of them. The early ones. Young men in their 20s. Reading statistics about them. We did that. I did that. Eventually drag myself up off the floor. Look at myself in the small mirror on my wall. Barely recognize the person looking back. Thought I was a hero. Turns out I was a villain. Or maybe not a villain. Maybe just someone who cared about one group of children so much that I stopped seeing another group as fully human. Stopped seeing their pain as real. Stopped seeing them as children who needed protection. Saw them only as future oppressors who needed correction. God, how did I become this? I used to love kids. All kids. When I started this job, I wanted to help everyone. When did boys become the enemy? When did I start seeing them as problems instead of children? It was gradual. So gradual I didn't notice. Each policy seeming reasonable on its own. Each small change justified by the one before. Until we'd created an entire system designed to suppress half our students and called it progress. Sit back down at my desk. Pull up my email. Start typing a letter to the principal. Delete it. Start again. Delete it. What can I even say? Sorry I helped create policies that hurt thousands of boys. Sorry I was so ideologically captured that I couldn't see the damage right in front of me. Sorry I prioritized my political beliefs over the well-being of children. None of it is enough. Nothing is enough. Eventually just write, I need to take a leave of absence. Personal reasons. I'll be in touch about my return. Send it. Start packing up my office. Photos of smiling students, mostly girls, I notice now. Awards for my equity work. Equity for who? Certificates from training programs. I led training people to hurt boys. Put it all in a box. Feel like I'm dismantling my entire identity. Because I am. Susan the feminist advocate. Susan the equity champion. Susan the protector of girls. All of it built on a foundation of hurt boys. Thomas appears in my doorway. Miss Susan? Are you leaving? Try to pull myself together. Just for a while, Thomas. Oh. He looks genuinely sad. You're the first counselor who was ever nice to me. Start crying again. I'm sorry, I tell him. He looks confused. For what? For everything. For all of it. For the system that hurt you. For the people like me who built that system. I don't understand. You're a good kid, Thomas. You're not a problem. You never were. And I'm sorry anyone ever made you feel like you were. He's quiet for a moment. Thank you, he finally says. He leaves. I finish packing, drive home in a daze, sit in my apartment, surrounded by books about feminism and social justice. Books I believed in, still believe in, on some level. But somewhere along the way, the message got corrupted. Equality became supremacy. Justice became revenge. Protecting one group became attacking another. And the ones we attacked were children. Boys who never asked to be born into this world. Never asked to be male. Never asked for the historical privileges we held them accountable for. Just wanted to grow up, and we wouldn't let them. Not naturally. Not as themselves. Only as the corrected, suppressed, medicated, ashamed versions we demanded they become, sitting here in the dark, feeling the weight of 20 years, 2 decades of boys, a generation. Destroyed might be too strong a word. Or maybe it's not strong enough. Maybe destroyed is exactly the right word. We destroyed an entire generation of boys. And I helped. God help me, I helped.